Yet another slippery commute ahead on your Monday as we deal with more snow-covered roads this morning.
And we're looking at just how effective this year's flu shot is proving to be, how this flu season compares to last year's record-breaking number of deaths.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us on this Monday, February 18th. And somebody shook the snow globe again because we're waking up with more flurries.
Josh loves to describe it like this because it's a much prettier way to look at it than the slick roads out there.
We have to be like Chris Reese and just embrace it every time with a smile, right?
We can't change the weather. We can just deal with it and change our attitude towards it. But it was beautiful yesterday as the snow was falling across southern Wisconsin. It's coming to an end now, but we've had several inches of snow in all locations. I measured at least 7 at my house on the west side of Madison, and we're seeing some reports come in around the 6-inch range as well here in Madison. So if you have a snow report, send it my way. We'll show it on the air. Temperatures are in the teens. We're dropping still. 15 here in Madison, down to 19 in Janesville, 14 in the Dells, 17 in Platteville. Your forecast, though, has pretty cold conditions today. Wind chills are starting out in the single digits in many locations. Daytime highs will be in the low 20s this afternoon. Luckily, though, winds are going to be fairly light through the day. Now let's get you an update on those traffic maps this morning. Take it from us, it's slippery. The roads had been plowed, even our parking lot was plowed, but it was still pretty slippery. We were all slipping and sliding into our parking spots this morning. No issues to report right now on the roads, and even zooming out around Dane County, looks like travel on the interstate in the area is still good. But if I were you, I would plan a little extra time and go a little slower this morning.
And we get, what, a day and a half break and then more snow is headed our way?
An alert day coming on Wednesday.
Oh,
of course.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
So with roads still pretty snow covered out there this morning, you are going to want to take it slow on your drive into work today. Several cities across southern Wisconsin are under snow emergencies. In Madison, alternate side parking rules are in effect on the Isthmus until tomorrow morning. And depending how the snow removal goes, the snow emergency could be extended further into the week. Janesville, Beloit, and Stoughton are also under snow emergencies. We have a full list of affected cities over on Channel3000.com.
Officials will continue their search this morning for a missing person after a semi-truck and trailer crashed into Mirror Lake. One person has already been confirmed dead. The Highway Department was clearing snow around 7:30 Sunday morning when they found a damaged guardrail on I-90. They stopped to see what happened when they saw the semi in Mirror Lake. Wheel tracks showed the truck went off of a 10-story cliff. The semi was completely submerged in water, and by yesterday afternoon, rescue efforts were shifted to a recovery.
Rescue there'd be signs of life. Recovery, probably low chance for there being any survivors at this point.
Crews stopped efforts overnight but will resume their search this morning. Traffic was closed on I-90 for much of the day Sunday in the eastbound lanes, but reopened around 6 last night. Officials say the crash is still under investigation, but the snowfall may have played a role.
Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning, a woman is in the hospital with a gunshot wound and a man facing charges after a shooting in the town of Clinton over the weekend. It happened just after 6 last night at a home on Milwaukee Street in that town. Police say an 18-year-old was shot, but she is expected to be okay. Officers found the gun a couple of blocks away in a snowbank. 18-year-old Jesus Rangel is facing charges for recklessly endangering safety. The CEO of the Illinois Manufacturing Company, where a gunman opened fire on Friday, says his employees are welcome back this morning, but he doesn't expect anything to be produced. Police say the gunman, 45-year-old Gary Martin, had just been fired from the Henry Pratt Company on the day he opened fire, killing 5 people and injuring 5 police officers. The Aurora police chief says Martin shouldn't have owned a gun in the first place because he had a felony conviction for aggravated assault in Mississippi. There's an Aurora Strong Vigil planned for later tonight. This past weekend, the community, family, and friends mourned the 5 people killed, including a human resource manager, the plant manager, and an intern there for his first day.
It is 6:04 right now. Madison police are investigating several armed robberies and burglaries from over the weekend. The most recent robbery happened just before 4 yesterday morning at the Phillips 66 gas station on Atlas Avenue. Police say the door was damaged and it looked like someone had tried to steal the ATM. Officers are also searching for a person who used a rifle to rob a gas station on Saturday night. It happened around 7:15 at the Capitol Petro on Mineral Point Road. That person was able to get away with cash. Anyone with information on these robberies should call Madison Area Crime Stoppers.
Meanwhile, the Madison Police Department wants your help when it comes to safety in your own neighborhood. The department is inviting you to join them tonight at High Point Church over on Old Sauk Road to learn more about its Good Neighbor projects. Those projects are part of a community safety program put on by the department to help you get to know your community and the officers who protect it. Tonight, you'll be able to learn from other members as well as the MPD Crime Prevention Unit. That event starts at 6:30.
Milwaukee lawmakers are honoring the former NFL quarterback. Wisconsin lawmakers refused to this Black History Month. Last week, Republican lawmakers refused a Democratic call to include Milwaukee native Colin Kaepernick in a Black History Month resolution because of the controversy he sparked kneeling during the national anthem to protest police brutality and racial inequality. Now Milwaukee's Common Council is recognizing him in their 28 Days of Black History celebration. In a statement, council members said Kaepernick is a controversial figure, but Black history makers tend to be controversial by nature, and few, if any, were accepted by the broader society for their work. As part of the project, Kaepernick's profile will be featured on the City of Milwaukee's website.
If you and the kids already got your flu shot this season, we're getting our first indication of how effective that vaccine has been so far. The CDC says the shot has reduced the risk of having to go to the doctor with flu symptoms by nearly 50% this season and by more than 60% for kids 6 and up. Still, it is responsible for at least 10,000 deaths nationwide, though that is far less than the 80,000 people who died last winter during the deadliest flu season in 40 years. Advocacy groups are trying to get more money to help care for Wisconsin's elderly population. Those advocates say nearly 400 Wisconsin nursing homes are facing a crisis because of a shortage of workers and the state's low Medicaid reimbursement rate. Now, healthcare organizations are asking lawmakers to set aside $83 million to help facilities cover costs and avoid closures over the next 2 years. Since 2016, 27 skilled nursing facilities have closed, including 8 so far this year.
It is 6:07 right now. UW-Madison students are demanding improvements to mental health services. This as some have reported having to wait up to 36 days to get a one-on-one appointment with a counselor.
I think it's important that every student on this campus has access to mental health resources. That's one of the most serious issues facing students on this campus, and I think the university and University Health Services need to address that.
The Student Services Finance Committee unanimously voted against the 2020 budget proposal for University Health Services, saying it doesn't address concerns students have with their access to mental health resources. University Health Services says they're trying to address a growing demand for resources, but they have not been able to keep up. The student committee is planning on meeting with Chancellor Blank in the spring to try and address these concerns in the budget.
New this morning, the company planning to build the Midwest's largest solar energy farm here in Wisconsin wants to build a second one in our area. The Janesville Gazette reports Invenergy wants to build a 250 megawatt solar farm in the town of Darien near Delavan. That's the same company that wants to build a 300 megawatt farm over in Iowa County. That would include more than 1 million solar panels to power 77,000 houses every year. Community members, though, have raised concerns that both projects would render thousands of acres of farmland useless. Walworth County's Land Conservation Committee will talk about plans for that Darien solar farm later tonight.
It is 6:08 this morning, and here's some cool news. 3 high school bands and jazz bands in our area are finalists in a national competition, along with only 12 other groups in the country. They're competing to perform with jazz legend Wynton Marsalis. We'll have the Sun Prairie and Middleton band directors live in studio next.
Congrats to them. And flurries still hanging around from the weekend. Have a number of schools on delay this morning. You better believe there's more of that white stuff coming later this week, too. Hattie's First Alert forecast is next when News 3 Now This Morning returns.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. We definitely have a lot of snow across southern Wisconsin. All around me, we have a snow depth of about 18 inches here in the backyard weather patio. So quite a bit of snow on the ground. Here is a look at some of the latest snow reports from this last snow event. About 6.5 inches in Shorewood Hills, as well as Lancaster. Cross Plains picked up 6 inches of snow. Maple Bluff, almost 5.5. Beaver Dam was on the light side with 2.5 inches. And again, we're still rounding up some of the snow totals as the snow comes to an end for southern Wisconsin. And it is winding down. I can say for certain that the snow is really coming to an end on the west side of town. It's definitely not snowing as much as it was just an hour and a half ago. Now, a closer look at southern Wisconsin, and you'll see that there are some lake effect snow bands impacting far southeastern Wisconsin, but generally things are quieting down as the snow comes to an end early this morning. Now, we're not done with snow this week. It's still winter, so we would expect the snowy weather pattern to continue. And here's a look at the GFS forecast model for snow late Tuesday night into Wednesday. We're looking at another 2 to 5 inches of snow across southern Wisconsin, so keep that shovel handy. Here's a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. Skies are variably cloudy across the area. Some places are reporting completely clear skies. Others are completely cloudy right now. We have kind of a mix here in Madison. Temperature is 15 degrees though, so it's cold. 16 in Prairie du Chien, 14 in the Dells, 19 in Janesville. That's our warm spot this morning. Winds are from the north. They're pretty light, but enough to send those wind chills down into the single digits in many locations. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. And again, we do have variably cloudy skies this morning, so that means you could see some sunshine. Heading into the afternoon, looks like more clouds will be moving into the area. High temperatures, though, will still climb into the low to mid 20s. Skies will clear out overnight tonight, setting us up for a pretty cold start tomorrow. Dry through the day on Tuesday. We shouldn't have any precipitation through the day with highs again in the 20s. But overnight into Wednesday morning, snow spreads into the area. Looks like we're all going to be involved in this one, picking up more snow through the day on Wednesday. Here's a look at that extended forecast. Because of the snow coming in on Wednesday, it's an alert day for the area. Temperatures will be pretty close to the freezing point, so there is a small risk for some freezing drizzle to mix in on Wednesday. We then stay in the 30s through the rest of the weekend, warm it up for the upcoming weekend. But with another storm moving in, that means a messy mix of precipitation is possible on Saturday and Sunday. Now a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning. Keep in mind that the roads are snow covered. It's just coming to an end here in Madison. They're doing a good job plowing roads, but even with a little bit of snow left on the surface, it is slippery this morning. Some brake lights showing up around Stoughton Road on the Belt Line, but no accidents or issues to report around Dane County this morning. Downtown looking pretty good, still maybe a little bit slow as you head into the campus area on University Avenue. Otherwise, here's a look at our snow statistics. Clicking one graphic too far, but you might want to know this as well. Over the last month, we have had 24 out of 31 days with snow.
Yikes.
Pretty interesting, Hattie. Thank you so much.
That's how you wake up on a Monday.
I was going to say, we're just jamming out over here, tapping our
Love it.
toes, snapping our fingers. You just heard from the Sun Prairie and Middleton High School jazz bands. They're 2 of 3 schools in our area who were named finalists to perform at a national competition in New York City.
We also want to be sure to give a shout out to Beloit Memorial High School. They're also in the running. This morning we have Steve Sveum, Sun Prairie's band director, and Doug Brown from Middleton High School joining us to talk more about it. Thanks guys for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
And Steve, you were calling this the Super Bowl of Jazz.
Yeah.
It seems like a big deal.
It is a very big deal. It's 15 of the finest bands from across the country, so.
And 3 of them are right here in Wisconsin.
Yes, pretty amazing. Here in the 608.
Is
That's
that
awesome.
unusual? I mean, this is a nationally renowned competition. 3 area public high schools are making their way to it.
It is a big deal. There's 5 states in our region, for 3 bands to come from southern Wisconsin like that is pretty amazing.
So I was in jazz band when I was a kid, and I know the opportunities it afforded me really helped me grow as a person. What have you seen in some of your students?
Oh, I think just music as an outlet for kids is just incredible, and they really grow and thrive in it. And I think any trip like this, where we can get them out of their comfort zone and to a place like New York City, is going to be just amazing for them.
So I know, Steve, you said this is going to be your 13th time going?
Wow.
Yeah.
So what has it been like to, obviously over the course of the years, being able to be a part of something like this?
Well, each and every year, it's a new group of students, and so it's always a new experience for them. And the bands out there just keep getting better and better and better. So.
And Doug, this is your first time going.
Absolutely, yeah. We're just excited, and we're just going to try to follow Steve's lead here. He's been a great help to us, and so we're real thankful for that.
That's awesome.
What's it like to have 2 area schools that you're sort of close with? You'll be competing against each other there?
Well, it's a competition, but it's a collaboration as well,
Sure.
I think. So.
Yeah, we're really just happy to be there and excited to go.
What do you win in this competition?
You win an unbelievable life-changing experience. That's
Yeah.
what you win. I mean, you really do. I'm not exaggerating at all. It's great.
What is it like, for the students that are part of this? Because obviously this is something that they'll probably remember their entire life.
I think, at least for us at Middleton, I think we're just, we're really happy that we got in, and I'm just excited about the experience and the growth and the recognition for the effort they've put in thus far. And
you'll be playing with Wynton Marsalis. That's a pretty big name in jazz, correct?
Yes. The great thing about the experience out there is all the musicians of the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra embrace the kids and their hard work.
Neat.
And they interact all the time with them. It's fantastic.
So you guys will be going in May, but you guys need help fundraising right now to get you guys there.
Correct.
What can people know if they need to know that kind of stuff?
Well, we'll be having raffles and concerts and pie sales and everything you can imagine to try to get us there.
Sure. So like Josh mentioned, this is happening in the beginning of May. Taking a look at your screen right now, that's how you can watch live. It's at jazz.org/live. This is happening again in New York City. Gentlemen, we're so excited for you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, well, if you are sick of all of the snow, Chris Reese has some bad news. There's more coming our way. He's going to be breaking all of that down and the ongoing snowy pattern we have when News 3 Now This Morning continues.
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. We're waking up to a fresh coating of snow across southern Wisconsin, although it has been snowing for the last 24 hours. So those snow totals adding up in some locations. A live look from Platteville. You can see everything's snow covered there. Take it easy on the roads. The plows have been out, but roads still may be snow covered and slippery. Our temperatures early today are in the teens, 15 here in Madison, 19 in Janesville, down to 13 in the Dells, 17 in Lone Rock, and 18 in Mineral Point. Here's a look at wind chills, though. Wind chill factors a little bit colder. It feels like it's in the single digits in many locations this morning. So your bus stop weather forecast has temperatures climbing only into the 20s. You'll need all the winter gear and the snow gear for recess today and probably getting to and from school. Now, Chris, I know some of those kids may be thinking, was that a snow day? We're going to have a snow day today? Some are delayed, but not like
I don't think there are going to be any snow days, but it's really funny that you mentioned that. A lot of the high schoolers I work with just a month ago said, you know, I haven't had a snow day in years, and I told them in Kentucky we got 6 to 8 each year. And they were like, never, we'll never see that much. Well, yeah, they're certainly catching up. And we had another record snowfall yesterday, Hattie, so if they can pull up Max 2 behind me, I'll go ahead and show you guys how things did shape up for us. 5.4 inches of snow did fall yesterday. Typically, or shall I say the old record for yesterday was 4.9 inches of snow, and that occurred back in 1975. So, of course, a new record by about half an inch, but still, it is a new record. That puts us at 46.4 inches of snow for the season. After a very slow start, we are catching up. Typically, we see 50.9 inches of snow in the season, and well, we stopped this on May 1st, so we still have a couple months to go. So it's very likely to be an above average snow season, and that could come as early as this week. We're already watching the next system develop. This is Tuesday at 10:30, just to our south and west, and here comes our next round of snow moving into the area. If we get 3 to 5 inches of snow from that snowmaker, well, then we would be above average for the season on that. So we're going to watch that one closely. But then towards next weekend, the possibility is there for another snow system and then another rain to snow system. So over the next week, it is possible that we could see 3 snow chances. Now, if you are tired of the snow, I don't know about me, but a lot of you guys are counting down to spring, and I'll give you meteorological spring. That's from March 1st to May 30th. That's just 10 days away. So we're entering into the warmer part of the year. But as we go through the next 8 to 14 days, we have a 90% probability of seeing those temperatures below normal from February 25th through March 3rd, along with about a 33% probability of seeing precipitation be above normal. So if we have not had enough, as if we haven't had enough anyway, I do think there are going to be more snow chances as we go through the next 8 to 14 days. Hopefully we can get a little bit of rain to, you know, melt the snowpacks down or snowbanks down a little bit. It's getting hard to see around them, but yeah, we're just going to be adding to it.
Have you had enough yet, Chris?
I was going to say.
I'm content, but I won't complain. I will say that. This is more snow than I have seen in the past 4 winters combined. I did the math in Kentucky and added them all up. So the past month I've seen more snow than the past 4 winters combined.
I think that's pretty appropriate for his first winter.
Yeah, and growing up in the Midwest, this is the most snow I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And in the last few winters, we really haven't
I
had
know,
anything.
and a lot of the students I work with, they're like, holy cow, I've never seen this, you know, and they're used to snow being in Wisconsin. So what a winter.
Yes, it has been, and it's not over yet.
Right, yeah, so we still have to get through the rest of February, March, and
April?
hopefully not
Hopefully
April,
not
but
May.
Hopefully not.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
6:27 your time now. A bill at the state capitol wants to help truck drivers identify human trafficking. We're going to talk about how lawmakers are aiming to do that coming up.
And Governor Evers is laying out his plans for marijuana legalization. That could include clearing criminal records for possession of the drug. The day's top stories are next on News 3 Now this morning. The president could issue his first veto if Congress blocks his emergency declaration for a border wall. But after that, he could face legal challenges.
And tomorrow is spring primary election day. We're taking a look at what's on your ballot and how to get your options in Spanish. Straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for staying with us on this Monday, February 18th. Josh is taking a look at all the snow we've seen lately through rose-colored lenses. What have you been calling this?
The snow globe.
Yeah.
It's just like every day we shake it and it comes down, and as soon as the last flake falls, we shake it again.
Glass half full.
Glass half full. You gotta embrace it.
You do.
And Hads is embracing it out on the Hadio patio this morning, enjoying all that fresh powder. Good morning, Hattie.
Good morning. It is beautiful outside, and the snow has come to an end here on the west side of town as well. So get a chance to clean up today. We've had snow for over 24 hours here in southern Wisconsin. Skies are starting to clear out already, though. A live look from our Edgewater Sky Cam at the downtown Capitol building. You'll see a little bit of clearing taking place there as well. Could be a pretty nice sunrise with those clouds still lingering in the area. Taking a look at our radar map, and you'll see that for the most part the snow has come to an end. If you are still seeing some flurries, they will be quickly dissipating. Lake effect snow bands still being formed though, but most of them moving out over Lake Michigan at this hour. Temperatures are in the teens here in southern Wisconsin, but it is colder to the north. Single digits this morning, waking up from La Crosse and points to the north. Here's a look at your temperature forecast today. We should climb into the low 20s this afternoon. Winds will stay fairly light, so wind chill not a huge factor today, but right now it does feel like it's in the single digits. Let's get you up to date with those traffic conditions. Keep in mind that the roads are snow covered and slippery this morning. Even if they have been plowed, just a little bit of snow left on the road makes it pretty slippery. We are seeing some stalled vehicle, I should say, right at the Beltline and Stoughton Road, so be aware of that. There are starting to be some delays in that area on Stoughton Road and the Beltline. Also some delays forming on Verona Road. Your drive times and speeds as you head into Madison, maybe going a little bit slower than normal. Verona Road northbound into the Beltline. And that's your first alert traffic.
Yeah, Hads, you definitely want to take it slow today. I know you and Josh were noticing my skid marks out in the parking lot this morning, right?
Yeah, you couldn't hide those.
No.
I came into the newsroom, I said, who almost slid off the driveway this morning?
Take it from me. Yep, it's always me.
Yeah,
take it slow
it's a
out
little
there.
slippery today.
Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
It is 6:33 right now at the nation's capital. The president may be preparing to veto or issue his first veto if Congress votes to block his national emergency declaration. President Trump declared the national emergency on Friday after lawmakers refused to provide the billions of dollars he demanded for a border wall at the U.S.-Mexico border. By declaring a national emergency, about $8 billion would be shifted away from the Defense Department and other agencies to instead go to the wall. Democrats plan to issue legislation to block President Trump's declaration. Two other groups are also planning legal action.
Tomorrow is spring primary election day, and it's the first time all voters in Dane County will have access to a bilingual ballot. If you or a Spanish speaker you know needs one, you can find the handicap-accessible voting machine at your polling place. Then just select the option for Spanish, simple like you would at an ATM. On the ballot, people in Madison will be voting for mayor, 4 open common council seats, and 3 school board positions. You can find out more about the Madison mayoral candidates and tomorrow's election over on Channel3000.com. The general election is April 2nd.
Middleton residents will decide if they are willing to pay more to help pay off about $5 million in damage to stormwater management facilities. This after last summer's historic flooding. A referendum on tomorrow's ballot asks if Middleton residents are willing to triple their annual stormwater utility charge over the next 5 years. For the average homeowner, that increases the fee from $15 to $45 through 2024. There's another discussion happening tonight about whether permanently lowering lake levels is the best way to prevent future flooding. The task force in charge of looking into solutions for the Yahara Lake chain will talk about its report and ideas. The meeting starts at 6 p.m. in the City County building downtown. There's $18 million included in the latest Dane County budget for flooding prevention. The task force will share its official recommendation in a couple of months.
At the state capitol, there's an effort to protect children from sex trafficking across the state. The bipartisan proposal would require anyone getting their commercial driving license to be trained to recognize and prevent human trafficking. A similar bill was pitched last session as well. These kinds of crimes often take place at truck stops. The Department of Justice has already reached thousands of people through voluntary trainings, but this would make sure technical college and private instructors include it in their courses. The National Human Trafficking Hotline has received more than 60 reports of trafficking in Wisconsin so far just this year.
It is 6:35. The governor is expected to propose decriminalizing recreational marijuana, what some are now considering his first step toward full marijuana legalization in Wisconsin. Governor Evers will propose the measure in his plan for the next state budget, along with legalizing marijuana for medical conditions, including cancer, post-traumatic stress disorder, and chronic pain. Under that proposal, people with previous convictions for possessing small amounts of marijuana could have their records expunged. The proposal also will allow possession and use of CBD oil, a marijuana derivative used to treat seizures, without a doctor's certification. Evers will release his proposed budget on February 28th. Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald has said he opposed medical marijuana and isn't sure a law could pass the chamber.
All right, 6:36 your time now. Search crews will be out again this morning looking for a person who went missing after a semi-truck crashed into Mirror Lake. We're going to have an update on that story coming up in the morning sprint.
And a federal watchdog group's investigation shows mistakes made by the Office of Federal Aid could be costing you more on your student loans. We'll explain on News 3 Now this morning. And welcome back at 6:40. We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and this morning we've got one to share.
Aww.
Over the weekend, the News 3 Now This Morning team emceed the Madison Addies, which is an award show for the best of the best in the advertising industry. We had such a blast and saw some top-notch work right here in our community.
Now, the real winners of the evening, Josh and Chris, they had the next day off, so they got to stay up until 10 p.m., folks.
We felt like normal people.
Oh, boy. Not vampires?
Not vampires for once.
Back to the morning show today, though.
Back to the morning show. Yep, early alarm again. Actually woke up to the snowblower this morning.
I know,
so.
you and I both. Thanks to Josh for sharing this photo. We had a lovely time this weekend. Now, remember, we are always looking for your My Morning photos. Take a picture, post it on our social media pages, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. All right, 6:40 your time now. A new federal watchdog report shows the government's laid-back monitoring of student loans is putting those students at risk of wasting money. That report covered January of 2015 through September of 2017, so during both the Obama and Trump administrations. It found the Office of Federal Student Aid didn't properly monitor companies that it pays to manage student loans. That could have allowed them to pocket government dollars that should have been refunded to borrowers. The watchdog group also says the FSA failed to identify patterns that could result in increased interest rates and missed opportunities for repayment programs. FSA officials strongly disagreed with the assessment, but said it does have plans to implement the watchdog's recommendations for improvements.
Some 200,000 people in Wisconsin struggle every year to meet basic survival needs like heating their homes. And this Thursday, News 3 Now wants to help. We are partnering with Energy Services, Inc. for a Day of Warmth telethon. We'll be taking your calls and donations in a phone bank from 4 to 6:30 p.m. during our News 3 Now newscasts. You can also donate all day online. The fund helps thousands of households, including the elderly, veterans, and working families with children who often have to choose between eating or staying warm. Join us Thursday to share the warmth in our community.
Such a great initiative right there.
It really is. And speaking of warmth, you're really going to want to bundle up out there today.
Oh, yeah.
Patty says we're only going to see highs in the low 20s today, but at least the snow is clearing out. We've got more on the way, though. Her first alert forecast is coming up with those details.
Of course we do. But first, it's February 18th. We want to say happy birthday to Owen, Sawyer, and all the kiddos turning 3 today. Thanks so much for celebrating with us here on News 3 Now this morning.
Look who's
This morning, we're cleaning up after the latest snowfall here across southern Wisconsin. And if you've been thinking, been doing a lot of shoveling lately, you are right. Since January 18th, just a month ago, we've had 24 out of 31 days with snow here in southern Wisconsin. And it's added up to over 35 inches of snow. Total season snow is about 50 inches. So you can see just in the last month, we've picked up the lion's share of snow that we would typically see in a winter season. And we have more on the way, so we'll be adding to those totals. On Wednesday, it's an alert day. Another 2 to 5 inches of snow is expected for the area. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer, closer to that freezing point, so there is a chance for a little bit of freezing drizzle. For any of you that are counting, here is the countdown, 30 days till the official first day of spring. But keep in mind, here in Wisconsin, that first day of spring, not always the first spring-like day. Here's a live look from our WISC-TV sky cam. We have just some high-level cloudiness in the area this morning, so clearing out already. We'll see a little bit of sunshine. The snow has come to an end. Outside of some lake effect snow bands for southeastern Wisconsin, things are quieting down for the rest of the area. Here's a wider view, and you'll see that across Minnesota and Iowa. Things have already, the snow has already come to an end. So a quiet day today. Our future track forecast model, though, as we head through the middle of the week, this is starting at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Watch the clouds roll in from the south and west, and then overnight, snow begins to spread into southern Wisconsin. We're all picking up some additional snow from this one through the day on Wednesday. We'll come to an end by Wednesday night. But again, we could see another 2 to maybe 5 inches of snow for southern Wisconsin. It looks like pretty similar amounts even as you head into the North Woods. Here's a look at our current temperatures this morning. We're in the teens here in southern Wisconsin. Single digits to the north, though. 8 in Marshfield and La Crosse. Eau Claire checks in with 5. It's 8 as well in Minneapolis. Looking at southern Wisconsin, our temperatures are in the teens, though. 15 here in Madison, 18 in Mineral Point, as well as Janesville. Monroe checks in with 16 degrees this morning. Our wind chills are in the single digits early today. We'll see those numbers climb back into the teens. Winds should stay relatively light today. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. And again, a light northerly wind today, but some clearing is possible through the morning. But by lunchtime, starting to see more of those clouds work their way back into the area. So we'll call it variably cloudy through the day today. Skies should definitely clear out overnight tonight, with temperatures then dropping back into the single digits tomorrow. It's going to be a cold start tomorrow morning with all that fresh snow on the ground. 2 is where we'll start. 24 for a high on Tuesday. And keep in mind, that alert day on Wednesday, probably gonna have to shovel again Wednesday night.
Of course.
And then the weekend, another storm bringing a mix of precipitation to southern Wisconsin.
Oh,
I think this kitty has the right idea. Developing in Poinette, all snuggled up under the blanket. Perfect place to be on a Monday morning.
Josh, this is how you're going to be
jealous.
after our shift, as long as there are no more snow blowers waking you up.
Yeah, hopefully they got that done. That was an early wake-up call.
That's gonna be all day today.
Yeah. All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next on News 3 Now this morning.
6:52, time for the morning sprint. Hattie says the snow is done for today, but there's more coming our way later this week.
But we start with the search for a missing person after a semi crashed into Mirror Lake.
The rescue is there'd be signs of life. Recovery, probably low chance for there being any survivors at this point.
Highway crews found a damaged guardrail on I-90 while they were clearing snow early Sunday morning. When they stopped to see what happened, they saw a semi-truck that went off a 10-story cliff and into Mirror Lake. One person was confirmed dead in the crash. There's another person still unaccounted for this morning. Recovery crews will be back out later today.
In Rock County, the Clinton Police Department is investigating a shooting that sent a woman to the hospital. This happened around 6:15 last night at a home on Milwaukee Street, a few blocks west of Church Street. An 18-year-old woman was shot, but she is expected to be okay. Officials recovered a gun a few blocks away in a snowbank and say 18-year-old Jesus Rangel Silva is facing charges for recklessly endangering safety.
The CEO of the Illinois manufacturing company where a gunman opened fire on Friday says his employees are welcome back this morning, but he doesn't expect anything to be produced. Police say the gunman, 45-year-old Gary Martin, had just been fired from the Henry Pratt Company on the day he opened fire, killing 5 people and injuring 5 police officers. Tonight, there's an Aurora Strong vigil planned after a weekend of mourning.
And our forecast today starts with variably cloudy skies. Here's the view from Platteville, kind of a bluish hue to everything with clouds in place and fresh snow on the ground. Snow is coming to an end, though, for southern Wisconsin. That's the good news. We'll get a chance to clean up through the day today. Here's a look at our temperatures over the next 12 hours. We'll start in the teens this morning, climbing to highs in the low 20s this afternoon.
Thanks so much, Hattie. At the nation's capital, the president might be preparing to issue his first veto if Congress tries to block his national emergency declaration. That declaration would shift about $8 billion from the Defense Department and other agencies to instead go to the wall. Democrats plan to introduce legislation to block President Trump's declaration. 2 other groups are also planning legal action.
Tomorrow is spring primary election day. People in Madison will be voting for mayor, 4 open common council seats, and 3 school board positions. Middleton residents will see a referendum question asking if they're willing to pay more for a yearly stormwater management utility charge to help pay for damage from last summer's flooding. For the average homeowner, that would increase the fee from $15 to $45 through 2024.
The CDC says the flu shot has reduced the risk of having to go to the doctor with flu symptoms by nearly 50% this season and more than 60% for kids 6 and up. Still, it is responsible for at least 10,000 deaths nationwide. That is far less, though, than the 80,000 people who died last winter during the deadliest flu season in 40 years.
Every student on this campus knows that mental health services at UHS are subpar.
As some UW-Madison students report having to wait up to 36 days to get a one-on-one appointment with a counselor, they're demanding better access to mental health services. A student committee unanimously voted against the 2020 budget proposal for University Health Services, saying it doesn't address their concerns with lacking mental health resources. UHS says they're trying to address a growing demand for resources, but they have not been able to keep up.
Tonight, you have an opportunity to get to know the officers who protect your neighborhood and learn how you can help. It's part of the Madison Police Department's Good Neighbor Project. The department's crime prevention unit will be on hand to talk about how you can help keep your neighborhood safe. That meeting's happening tonight at 6:30 at the High Point Church.
The company planning to build Midwest's largest solar energy farm wants to build a second one in our area. The Janesville Gazette reports Invenergy wants to build a 250 megawatt solar farm in the town of Darien. That's the same company that wants to build a 300 megawatt farm in Iowa County. Tonight, Walworth County's Land Conservation Committee will discuss plans for the Darien solar farm.
It's such an incredible feeling to feel that everybody else is on the same page and everyone's like on the same beat, on the same groove.
That right there is Megan Ralt, a senior at Sun Prairie High School. Her jazz band, plus groups from Beloit and Middleton, are 3 of just 15 schools in the country to be selected for a national jazz competition in New York this spring. Music experts call the Essentially Ellington Jazz Competition the Super Bowl of jazz. Sun Prairie's band director says he's working with Middleton and Beloit to put on a show before the competition in May.
6:56 right now. Let's turn it over to Jason Stone with a look at your first alert traffic. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Traffic is running smooth on the Beltline. All lanes are free of snow, but slippery areas still exist. John Nolan is fine for this morning. Traffic starting to line up at North Shore Drive. An accident causing delays on northbound Interstate I-39 following County Highway N, and a vehicle is disabled on the eastbound Beltline prior to Stoughton Road and blocking the right shoulder. No delays have been reported. With your first alert traffic, I am Jason Stone.
Thanks, Jason.
Yep, not a problem.
And here's the view outside from the Edgewater Sky Cam. We have variably cloudy skies across southern Wisconsin. Could be time to clean up today. The snow has come to an end for the area. Temperatures starting in the teens this morning, climbing to highs in the low to mid 20s this afternoon. And variably cloudy skies expected.
And another day with the workout with the shovel. We've got our
Yeah.
executive producer behind us, giving it a whirl this morning.
Love that. Shoveling out the patio. Thank you very much,
Off your
James.
shoulders. Yeah, that's nice. Thanks so much, Hattie. And thanks, Josh, for joining us
You
this
bet.
morning. We
Good to be
appreciate
inside.
it. Stay warm today, folks. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Have a good one.
Say